The collection that I have on my bed right now is a little bit big. But the sad part is, it's not even everything. And it's probably not as big as my Mario or Sonic collections because there's a lot more stuff for it. But this stuff is what I love the most out of my whole collection. So let's get into it. Hello, what is up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR and welcome to my Crash Bandicoot collection. Now, I've been collecting Crash things, I would say my entire life, but I feel like that's an exaggeration. I hate it when people say that. Realistically, I've been collecting Crash Bandicoot things since before elementary school, probably since I was like 5 years old or so. As of right now, I'm 26. So for over 20 years, this was what I loved the most. And the amount I loved it as a kid, I still love it as much to this day. There's not too many things I can say that about, so the fact that I still love Crash Bandicoot this much is honestly nuts. However, since the collection is quite big, I did construct it into a couple of groups. One is stuff that I had either as a child or ever since I was a child. Another group is stuff that was out back then, but I either never knew existed or I never got until I was an adult. And then we have the stuff that has come out recently because of the Crash remakes coming back out. And I also have a few fan things as well, like fan-made stuff or stuff that's technically not official, but is still really cool nevertheless. I know that barely counts for a Crash collection, but some of these should really count. And there are some things in here that I don't have as part of the collection, like banners or posters, stuff that I've gotten from either working at Best Buy. Some of the stuff that I have gotten from working at Best Buy, I can take them down, a few of them, so I'm gonna be able to show them off. Some I got from GameStop employees, some are just posters. So that's what I mean when I say I can't really show off everything. I think the only real poster I could really show off is like behind me. Hold on, let me do the PewDiePie, but can you do this?
Oh yeah? But can you do this?
Yeah, like back there, that little Crash band right there, my friend Eric got me that. I love that so much. It's so cool. But if you do want to see more, I will be doing a new room tour soon enough. So subscribe to that. Man, imagine if I made a video like this. Ooh, that'd be nice. But before I actually start making this video, I also want to mention I have done some other collection videos in the past. They've mostly been video game collections though. So if you want to see those, you can either click the card up here or just wait until the end of the video. I'll have a whole playlist as a little like thing at the outro. You know what I'm talking about? I hope you do. You've been on YouTube. So without further ado, let's get into the stuff that I had ever since I was a kid. But first up, what's Crash Bandicoot?
Stupid?
He's a video game character. So obviously you gotta have the video games, and I do have every entry. I don't have every port, but I do have every main title, whether it be exclusive to handhelds or consoles, whatever. I got them. So first up, let's go over to PS1 and 2 games, and they're all in this case. I know collectors are gonna hate me, but hear me out on this one. These PS1 games I had since I was like 5, and the PS2 came out when I was in like 2nd grade. The cases for the PS2 games I still have. The cases for PS1 games though, they're jewel cases. They didn't last all that long. I was a child. I apologize. However, I do have cases for Crash 1 and 2. However, I am trying to go for all the PS1 cases again, but it's not something that I'm actively fighting for. If I find a good deal on the game that I can sell it enough to make enough money back on the game by itself, then I'll probably go for it. Like at Too Many Games, I found the first Crash game for 15 bucks. Yeah, I could sell the original game pretty close to that. All I want is the case. But anyway, I'm stalling. I'm sorry. Let's get into this. So, we have Crash 1. This is the greatest hits version. This is the one I grew up with. This is my childhood copy. All of these games in here are my childhood copies. Next up, we have the greatest hits version of Crash 2, which is the preferred version because you can actually use your analog stick. Then we have the black label version of Crash Warped, and yes, I did have the version with the holographic case. I miss it a lot. I used to have it for the longest time, like that's the little sleeve for it. I just have no idea what happened to it. Next up, we got Crash Team Racing. Again, greatest hits. It didn't really matter. If I am going to go for another copy, I want my case to be the black label so I can go for a little holographic case as well. Crash Bash. Ew. I mean, I like this render of Crash. They did a good job of that, but that's the only good piece about this game. Next up, get into our PS2 games. Crash, Wrath, Cortex, Crash, Nitro Kart. They're alright. Half decent attempts as being successors, but didn't have that Naughty Dog polish. Next up, we got Crash and Twinsanity. It's a lot of people say it has a, I forget what the word is I'm looking for. It's probably because I'm in front of the camera. A cult following. I feel like that's a little bit much. Point is, people say it's underrated. That's probably the word I'm looking for. Personally, I played it again. The Crash sections are fun. Playing as Cortex and Nina, I don't like at all. Tag Team Racing. I want to play that again. I want to see how bad it is. Then the Titans and Mind of a Mutant. Titans, I actually liked a lot because I played it with a childhood best friend, and it was the last time we really hung out, and it was the last game that we played together. So this will always have a warm place in my heart. But I didn't like this game. No, I thought it was kind of hot garbage. And then we have an empty slot. What am I gonna do with this slot? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, see, I have a copy of Crash 1 in this little disc. The sticker says 30 bucks, but he had it in a half off bin, so I'm like, sure, I'll buy it for 15 bucks. Then, okay, so I guess this was salvaged from when I was a kid. I had the greatest hits version as a kid. You can tell by this, but this holographic sticker thing, that's not a sticker. This holographic thing, you know what I'm talking about. That was my friend, remember the one I talked about with Crash the Titans? He gave me this. He had Crash 2 as a kid, and he just gave it to me. I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, everything else inside this was from my childhood, except for the case itself. I had actually replaced the case. And no lie, I'm honestly shocked I still have this. I already mentioned, I have the PS2 games. They don't really matter. All black labels, but I want to go for a red label version of Wrath of Cortex just so I can have the faster load times. Oh yeah, we have the remakes. I know there's not chronological order all that much, but yeah, we got the remakes. I also got it on PC because 60 frames a second. PC Master Race, baby.
Glorious PC Gaming Master Race! Okay, that was unnecessary. Oh God. Put those away now, sir. Sorry. Thank you.
And if you thought that was my whole game collection, you are a freaking fool, because there is plenty more. There are handheld games that are exclusive as well. This I had as a kid, but my friend actually managed to get me everything else for it. Like, he got me the box, manual, and everything. He managed to help me complete a copy of Crash Huge Adventure. But the game inside here is my childhood copy. And wow, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually happy that I do have this complete in box. Next up, we got Crash Entranced, which is actually a pretty decent sequel. The Crash Entranced and Crash Huge Adventure are honestly really good games for Game Boy Advance games. If you haven't played them yet, give them a shot, track them down. You can probably find them for like 10 bucks each. Crash Purple, God, this game was not good. I also have Spyro Orange, but I don't have that like pulled out because it barely counts. However, something that I do have from Spyro Orange on me right now, I'm not sure if it did this for Crash Purple. I don't remember seeing anything. However, for some reason, it came with a Game Boy Advance case with Crash and Spyro on it. So, that was neat. If they did a purple one for Crash Purple, that would have been neat. But I do remember getting this out of Spyro Orange, though. Oh yeah, and Crash Boom Bang. I know, a lot of people don't like this game, but fun fact, this game is the reason why I got a DS. I held off trying to get a DS for the longest time, because I wasn't that die-hard for it. I'm like, it's a cool idea, it looks really neat, but I don't need it that bad. But then I saw this in Nintendo Power, I'm like, crap! Here we go! So long story short, I got it. Oh yeah, I'll show you this thing earlier. That actually reminds me. I have something behind the camera that I forgot to grab. Give me a sec.
A few inches later.
Alrighty, I found it. So, the one day, I went to a GameStop. This was probably when I was in like middle school, okay? I went to a GameStop, I had some money, I wanted to buy some games. I looked around, and I see this little gift card just sitting there. I'm like, holy crap. I went nuts. I knew I had to take this home. So what I did was, the games I was buying, I put the money that I was gonna use for the games onto this card, and then bought said games with said gift card, and now I have this, and I'm happy. I held on to it to this day, and there's nothing on it, but hey, Bandicoots. Bandicoot. I also had the mobile games on my iPod, which, by the way, you can't run them on new iPhones because I guess they're not compatible with iOS 12 or soon to be 13. I guess I gotta get a 4th gen iPod just so I can play those games again. They weren't good, but I do want to try to go for the Japanese variant of the games. I want to go for the European PS1 games because some of them had different box arts, like Crash Warped. Crash Warped's box art in the UK looked, ooh, that looked nice. But if you go for one, you gotta go for them all though, so what can you do? So that wraps it up for the games. Now let's go into the merchandise that I had since I was a kid. So the things I've gotten as a kid, they're not going to be in chronological order. Why? I don't know. I don't remember back that far. But let's start off with these giant plushes. Who made these? I don't know. I don't have the tags anymore. But if you get a close look, detail, hopefully you can just tell by that. That's how I tell most of my merchandise, so go nerds. So these were gotten in 2 different ways. None of them involved eBay. So this guy my mom got for me over at Hershey Park. Here she had to play some game where you had to have this chicken on this little thing. You had a mallet, you hit it, and chicken goes flying into a rotating pot. You had to get them so many times. Here my mom got me 2 Crashes. Spyro about the same size, but I don't know what happened to Spyro, sadly. And also like a Slinky looking Spyro as well. There's also a Slinky Crash. I seen him in a claw machine. Never got him though. Hey Mom, speaking of,
What?
remember when you got me this Crash?
What one?
The one from Hershey Park.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. You want to tell them how much of a pain in the ass that was?
Oh my God, I had chickens flinging everywhere. That was awesome though. I was determined.
So like I was saying, I got 2 of these. So the other one hangs out at me at my video game stand job. I have that like hanging out with my little buddy. And the amount of times people ask me, is he for sale? I'm like, sadly, no. I brought that from home. That's my son. But the story with this one in particular, this one was also in a claw machine. Here, me and my family went to Walmart. And of course, while your parents are checking out in the aisle, it takes a while because they get too many freaking groceries. So I ran to the arcade, see what was in the claw machine. A lot of the times I just see and I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. It'd be cool to have, but I don't need it, and I just move on. Whatever. But I saw him in the back, buried under a wolf. I'm like, oh no!
Oh no!
So of course, I had to get Dad to get this for me. So here it was 50 cents a play. He only had $1. He's not very good at claw machines typically. When it comes to claw machines, I leave that stuff to my brother, or maybe I might give it a shot. But if my brother's there, he's doing it. He had a lot more skills than I did. So anyway, it was up to Dad this time. I don't know how I did it. He doesn't know how I did it. He somehow managed to make the wolf stand up so he had a clear shot for Crash. I'm like, oh no, the pressure was on. So he ended up going for him. You see Crash being lifted up. I'm like, oh no. Oh, do you have this? Like, but I know our luck. Sometimes he might fall out of the claw machine. That happened to me one time when I was getting a Pac-Man. Like, you got caught in the claw. I'm like, oh man. And then you see it wiggle around and then he just gets flown out. So anyway, so I'm waiting for him. I'm like, oh man, it's getting closer and closer to the hole. And then they drop it in. I am spazzing out in the middle of this Walmart arcade because, again, I love Crash this much. And even to this day, as a 26-year-old, hell, maybe even as a 30-year-old or even a 40. And at 40, I'd probably have a heart attack because, you know, I have a bad diet and being old. Anyway, even like if I say I'm 30, even 35, if I make it that long, I will react the same exact way. Go Dad. And these guys I actually have on my bed, both for sentimental reasons, and plus I really have no other place to put them. But those aren't the only plushes I have of Crash. I even have these smaller ones from Resource. Give me one sec.
A few moments later.
So I have these guys right here. I call this Crash 1 Crash. Is it really? Maybe, I don't know. Then we have, I call Crash 2 Crash because, well, they had gloves, but they were falling off, so I just ripped them off. He had red gloves, red shoes. It's like the cover art of Crash 2, so as I call him Crash 2 Crash. Then we have Coco. For some reason, her hand's ripped off. Okay, I got these at like a birthday party, probably I was like turning 6, maybe 5. I actually have a picture of it with me when they were still brand new, and my brother's close to them, and I'm looking at him like, Why? Why are you that close? Go away. Then we got Cortex. He's cool. I actually like Cortex a lot. He's one of my favorite plushes out of the set. And then Komodo Mo, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Mo because he has Mo body mass. He got Mo. So stupid. But as you can tell, these guys have really shown their age. They have been played with a lot. But I went to Too Many Games and I saw another one of these. Hold on, I actually still have it. It's in my drawer right now. I was going to put him in my car. But honestly, I have no idea if I want to put him in my car or not.
12 seconds later.
I found him. Okay, so these guys, I'm pretty sure you could have picked up at like a Hess gas station because I've seen these guys there. Maybe you could have gotten them at KV Toys as well, but yeah. This one I picked up at Too Many Games for like $10. When I saw it for this price and this kind of condition, sure he doesn't have the tag, but who gives a shit, honestly. Like, this looks immaculate. So, absolutely, I had no problem paying $10. I bought that in a heartbeat. But yeah, look at these differences. Oh, sweet lord. Man. Oh, man. You can tell this one's really from a kid. Speaking of Resource, of course, you gotta have some Resource figures in your collection, or else I feel like your collection is missing something quite important. So we have Jetpack Crash and we have Jetboard Crash. I've had these when I was a kid. Unfortunately, I had to get these ones as an adult because the legs were so fragile. They broke all the time. I broke my figures I don't know how many times as a kid. In fact, we probably go at least once or twice a week to get a new Crash figure. And back then, they were only like $5 or so it didn't really matter. We got them at KB Toys. I almost had the full collection. I'm pretty confident I was only missing a few. But yeah, I had a good chunk of them. But the one double pack with the motorcycle outfits of Crash and Coco, I've never seen. Ever. Until I saw them on eBay for ridiculous prices, I was sworn that they never existed. No lie. Now this guy wasn't made by Resource. This was Playing Mantis. I know it's like a weird off-brand toy company that no one ever remembers. But this I call the Evel Knievel Crash Bandicoot. So obviously it's him on his motorcycle outfit, now on a motorcycle having a good time. And then you rev him up on some little stand, then he flies, goes off a ramp, hits in boxes. Cool time. It really is Evel Knievel. This I had as a kid, unfortunately. I think I had two of them actually, but I don't know what happened to them. So my friend went to some convention. I don't know exactly where he went, but he found this and bought it for me, and he got it for me for my birthday. And I remember that day, like Eric took me to my house. We did something, I think, and then all my friends were there as like a little surprise, and then they show it to me. I nearly cried, and no lie, I put it on the floor and started playing with it. Yeah, I actually do have the revving part up there, like on my shelf. My bed's only so small, I can't hold up all my Crash stuff. That's why I don't want to do other videos of other collections, because it'd be too big and the video would be too long too, so screw that. Oh yeah, I was talking about Resource earlier. I forgot to show you guys some of the accessories I have, because I actually have some extra stuff. Like, I got all these crates. I'd be willing to part with one if anybody wants to trade. I have a couple of Aku Aku masks. I have a spare jetpack. Again, I'm willing to trade. These guys I'm not trading, but I got these as well. And even as a kid, apparently there was 2 different variations of the jetpack. This, I believe, was the later variant, but there's another one where the outside was more black, but then the inside was like green, but it had better blending. It blended it like beautifully. I'm not sure how many of y'all know about that one, but if you do, then you rock. Oh yeah, you also need Wampa fruits. Yeah, you definitely need those. I got this crate too. I forget how I got this one. But you didn't just get Crash toys in stores, you also got them at restaurants with different kids meals. Taco Bell had some. I had them as a kid. I think I may have actually had the full collection, but now I have none of it and it makes me sad. However, some of the ones I do remember is I had some from Hardee's as well. I'm pretty sure there was also a separate line. I think they did one for Wrath of Cortex at Taco Bell as well. I just never seen it, so I never had it as a kid. I've always seen them on eBay, but I never understood where they came from until put 2 and 2 together later as an adult. But anyway, yeah, I got this one where you, like, I think you roll it back, and then you roll it back, and then it's just him on a rocket. Now I remember on one of the sides it had a Crash Bandicoot logo on it, but I don't know what happened to it. Stupid stickers. And then we got this bendy Crash figure. I'm like, hey, since mine keep breaking, let's have this one. And then you got these little toys, like these little games that you got from McDonald's. There's 4 of them, but I never managed to get the Dancing Crash one. So if anybody has that, hit me up in the DMs. We'll work something out. And then comes the more obscure pieces in my collection when it comes to stuff that I had as a kid. This, I'm not sure how many people actually know about this, but this is a case. It looks like a little suitcase, but it was actually for a fingerboard. It wasn't Tech Deck brand, but it's made by Prime Toys. I don't know, in here there's like velvet stuff, and like then like it had like a board, it had some like different wheels, different accessories and stuff like that. It didn't come with a Crash figure. I know there's one like with a bike and that has Crash figure on it, but this one was just a fingerboard. And then the board itself, I believe, had it was pretty much this type of background, but then like had this pose of Crash throughout the board. It was really cool. I no longer have the board, but I remember getting this. And again, I got this at the Hess gas station as a kid. And in here though, I have a couple of the like gumball machine figures. I got a Crash figure and a Cortex, but I did have more of these as a kid. I had most of the collection, I believe. I had Coco, I had the jumping Crash or his high jump. I remember there was Komodo Mo, there was Tiny. I can't remember if I had Tiny. Point is, there was more figures in that set. There was even Spyro figures in there too. I may have had Spyro as well, but again, it was a long time ago, so I don't remember. But another cool piece in the collection. This one, I wouldn't say this is obscure. You see this on eBay every once in a while. It's not too uncommon, but that is the Crash Bandicoot bobblehead. Now, the way my mom got this guy was it was either at Media Play or Circuit City. I thought it was Circuit City. Mom swears it's Media Play, but I'm gonna trust her memory more than my own. Here they had some promo that you would do. So you would buy a PS2, you would get Crash Wrath of Cortex, and then you get this for free. Yeah, they don't do this crap anymore. This is also made out of resin, by the way. And also numbered 7,500 units. But he also had some units where the logo was red. Why? I don't know. I prefer this one. But since I had this one as a kid, and we had cats and other stuff, and plus I played with it as a kid, it's broken multiple times, so obviously it's not going to be worth much at all. But they float around on eBay every once in a while, about like 50, 80 bucks or so. So if you want one, go get one. It's really cool. Again, this is from like the Wrath of Cortex era, so you could almost count it as like the PS1 era, because it was just when it was like turning over. So the way Mom got it was, here she was like bluffing. Okay, she's saying how like she has to get this thing for me. If she has to, she'll return the PS2 and the game just to get this thing, just so she could do the promotion. But then they're all like, you know what? Just come on in. We'll just give it to you. Yeah, my mom's a freaking beast. So as you can tell, my mom was very, very supportive when it comes to Crash Bandicoot. She even played the games with me. So when new stuff comes out, I show her, and she's still as excited as I am. Like, she thinks a lot of this stuff is absolutely badass. So I hold on to this as like a Crash trophy, personally. Like, this is like my prime gem. Even though I have some things that are absolutely more valuable and more obscure than those things. But I think the final piece that I'm gonna show off that I got, well, I had as a kid, but I had to re-get as an adult. This guy I had when, I can't remember if I had one or two of these. I'm pretty sure I only had one. Because some stuff I had to re-get for some reason. I didn't have two of them just to be like a collector or whatever. Like, something happened, so I had to get another one. I wasn't that spoiled. I was spoiled, but like, I never threw a temper tantrum if I didn't get one. Like, I was well behaved and well rewarded, okay? This I had, and I had to get rid of it, I think, or it stopped working. I don't know why we had to get rid of it. But I saw on eBay for like 40 bucks or something like that, and I couldn't pass it up. If you've seen my show and tell videos, you've already seen this, but it is your first time coming in. This is a complete Crash Team Racing pinball in the box. It's been opened. Even if it was brand new, I probably would open it anyway because this thing's too cool. But from the condition of what it looks like, I opened it up. It looks like it was rarely played with or never played with. No sign of battery corrosion, no scratches, no anything. This thing looks immaculate. I love it so much. I even had the Spyro one as a kid where that one actually had like real legs on it. And I just put this one on top of it if I wanted to play this one. And I know there was a Pirates of the Caribbean one as well as a kid. And I remember that one was like a deluxe pinball machine for a kid's toy. But I never had that one because I never liked pirates. But this was still cool. Remember I came home, it was like midnight. I can't remember when I got this. I remember it was like during a time where like I was never home and I came home really late, and I opened it up next to my dad, and we were both freaking out over it. We thought it was badass. But yeah, of course, I had other Resource figures. I had other, like, kids' meal toys. I had a bunch of other stuff as a kid, but sadly, I don't anymore because either they break or get lost or whatever. However, there was still plenty of stuff that came out when I was a kid, but there was only like 1 or 2 of these I actually knew about as a kid. A lot of these I didn't really discover until I was an adult, just hunting on eBay. But the one thing I saw as a kid but never got until, I don't know, after high school probably, was this Johnny Lightning car of Crash. Look at that. Okay, there was a real NASCAR of Crash, I believe, or there was a real race car of Crash. I was like promoting Crash Team Racing, but I never had it. But I never really saw anything of it, like, except for like pictures online. But I saw that, I'm like, you know what, that's really cool. So I finally bought it. I don't think they're very common anymore. I remember they were on eBay always. I never had a problem finding it. So when I finally got it, a couple years later, they just started to disappear. In fact, trying to get things retro for Crash is a little bit tougher now because it is completely filled with like Crash Pops or the kid robot figures or even the new stuff. There's too much new merchandise now. That's like flooding eBay. So it makes it a little bit harder to find stuff. This piece is also a little bit of a gem because I've never seen this. Mainly because I was probably too young for it. So I guess this is some type of promotional hat for Crash 1, because you see that pose, that's clearly Crash 1. Also, you know, the logo on the back and then PlayStation logo on the side. I've never seen this before. I saw it on eBay. And in fact, the people who were selling it on eBay was the game store that I work for. I'm like, that's really close to my house, like when I showed the location. And I'm like, yeah, that's only like a 20-minute drive from here. And I see who's selling it. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I bought it and I just said, don't ship it out. I'll just pick it up. I think I paid like $50 or $60 for this hat. I know it's a stupid idea, but that was when I first started actually having money. So, whoops. Speaking of Crash 1 things, I don't really know what the story is behind this guy either, but this is a Crash Bandicoot watch. I have no idea, but his arms are the hands, and that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. I've seen this on eBay a couple of times, and I forget how much I paid for this, because the price would fluctuate all the time, but I remember I grabbed it for a deal, so like, hell yeah, I bought it. And then we got a few things, again, like, I don't know the origin story of these guys. So first up, let's take a look at this magnet set. So there's a listing on eBay where you got 2 of these, and he had like a bunch of them. Again, I don't know how he managed to get all this stuff. So you have to punch out these magnets, but since they're so old, I recommend getting like an X-Acto knife or something to really pry these guys out without ruining them. So what will happen is you have this Crash right here, okay? And then this is all just accessories that would go on top of him or close to him. I thought it was really neat. When I get a place for myself, I'm definitely putting these in my fridge. Since it came with 2, I have another one opened up there. But then there's also this guy. This is a jumbo puzzle. So with the marketing on this guy right here, like whenever it was Crash 3 merchandise, it always had like this neon green and then this particular logo. You've never seen this logo on the games with this blue stuff in the background, but it is very reminiscent to Crash 3 because of the Warped logo, and it just came out when Crash Warped was out. But also you could tell because of the Wampa Bazooka and the background. However, this pose for Crash, this is Crash 2. And I remember when I bought this guy off of eBay, and it was like only $15 or something. It wasn't anything like crazy expensive, and he had a bunch of them. So I asked him after I bought it, I'm like, so do you know the story behind this? Like how this is like, is it a promotional item? Like what is this guy? And the seller said that I guess his aunt got a bunch of them. I don't know if she worked at some store or something. I have no idea. Like he didn't really know the origin story. He just said, okay, my aunt had a bunch of them and they've just been sitting around, so we're just getting rid of them. So bing bada boom, hey howdy hey, we got a puzzle. But of course Crash was also popular in Japan, so we also got these manga. No, we're American, we call it manga because we're freaking stupid. Anyway, so we got these 2 volumes of manga for Crash. This is based on Crash 2. I haven't read them because they're all in Japanese. When they first came out, they were about, well, 390 yen each, so about, let's say $4, okay? I paid a lot more. I probably paid like $60 or something like that for both of these, maybe 80, I can't remember. Again, this is when I had money. I didn't really think about it. I was like, Crash! So I bought them. So they were together, and they had like a decently low price compared to all the other listings. I'm like, you know what, screw it, let's buy it. And then this I've seen on the internet for a while. I've never seen it on eBay, I don't think. No, I take that back. I may have seen it on eBay a couple of times. I've seen these on like, I think maybe Crash Mania or whatever it's called. There's some site that like archives a bunch of Crash merchandise. I've seen this on there. It's a Piggy Bank. This thing's very tiny. It is literally about the size of a Nintendo Switch case. Like, hold on. Not like a carrying case. No, the case for the actual game. Give me a sec.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new...
So, we got Yoshi's Crafted World. By the way, look at that Poochie. A Poochie! Look at that. Yeah. Let that sink in for a moment. But this guy, I didn't buy myself, though. My mom got me this for Christmas one year because, I'm an adult. And I'm a collector. Anything I want, I buy it. And I feel bad for people that shop for me for Christmas. They have a hard time. And I'm very sorry. I couldn't think of anything. So, I'm like, hey, Mom, look at this. And the person who was selling it on eBay just kept lowering the price more and more because it wouldn't sell. Because they had an obscure price on it. They had like over $100 on it. I'm like, no. It's cool, but not that cool. But now that I have the bobblehead and I have this, now I need the cookie jar. I'm not getting the cookie jar. There's no way in hell. Like, it's gonna be too expensive. But you know, you never know. It's like, I have some things in my collection that I never would have thought I've ever gotten. And I think that wraps it up for the older stuff that I never had as a kid that I got later as an adult. But I think before we move on to the newer Insane Crash Trilogy stuff, I do have a couple of books. They're like art books that they do mainly focus on the Naughty Dog era, but they recently come out like in the past like 5 years or so. But I still think it's better to show them off now before we show off the Insane Trilogy stuff. So I think the first one to really show off is the art of Naughty Dog. So this isn't just Crash Bandicoot. It is obviously a bunch of Naughty Dog stuff, and I wish it was just Crash or they made the book bigger or something, because there's obviously more art out there for Crash, and I would love to see more of it in here. And remember that, what is it, that art of Crash I was telling you about? Oh my god, there actually is quite a bit of stuff in here, like a lot of Japanese stuff. I never even noticed this stuff in here. But I remember I would see it on the Crash Bandicoot website because they archived all that stuff. I almost want this tattoo. I'm not gonna lie, that would look fantastic. But I do love this book a lot because they actually really do show off a lot of art and like a lot of promotional stuff. This poster right here, oh my god, I love this thing so much. I would love to have that in my game room. Well, unfortunately, it's impossible to get, so good luck, son. I forgot how much I really do love this book. Like, look at this. Like, if you don't have this as a Crash collector, what are you doing? Oh yeah, I have a sticker that looks a lot like this on the back of my car. That's really neat. Oh yeah, this little guy on here. I think I've seen stuff like this on eBay, like selling for Crash 2 or Crash 3. I didn't even see this one in particular, but I've seen stuff like it. Oh look, Crash Team Racing. Hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, but anyway, that Crash car I was telling you about, yeah, here it is. But again, a lot of this stuff was archived on the Naughty Dog website back when they still had the rights for Crash Bandicoot and stuff. So like, it was really awesome seeing like pictures like this. I remember seeing these pictures in particular on the website. I would check it religiously before I had my own computer. Then after that goes to like Jak and Daxter, Uncharted. I don't care about that stuff. We want Crash. Now this thing, when it was first at least announced, this was known as the Crash Bandicoot Bible. This is a cool book too, but I don't think it's anywhere as cool as that in my opinion. But this is still cool nevertheless, because this is literally like the birth of Crash. Because it talks about like how Willy the Wombat sparked into Marsupial Mania, blah 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 blah. Like, this is pretty much all stuff about the creation of Crash 1, whether it comes to like scripts, different art styles, other stuff like that. Like, look at that. All it really is, it's just like scans of like everything related to Crash 1's like creation. It's really amazing. I love how they archived this. But out of the two books, I think I might love the art more because I just love art. But obviously, this is like definitely a needing collection as well. So I'm saying, if you have the Crash Bandicoot files, definitely go for the art book because you will love that even more. So now I think it's time to finally step into the brand new merchandise of Crash Bandicoot, because we already got a step of that because of the fact that these art books came out kind of during that era. Everything started, like, there was an announcement of Crash being in Skylanders Imaginators, and oh yeah, we're remaking the first 3 Crash games, all built from the ground up.
I'm proud to announce that we work with our partners at Activision, who are going to bring back the original Crash, Crash 2, and Crash Warped, fully remastered from the ground up for PlayStation 4.
Everybody flipped their shit, including me. So of course he had to release the Skylanders. So yeah, I bought these. Luckily you could buy them separate, but they were everywhere. I'm pretty confident you can probably go into a 5 and below and find these. They couldn't sell these for some reason, probably because they're too expensive. Yeah, they're like 25 bucks or something. Something stupid. Maybe even more. But I do have an extra Cortex. If somebody doesn't have a Cortex or they just want Cortex, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram or something. I have social media in the description, by the way. Like, just hit any of them up. Like, let me know. We'll work something out. So, it all started with this, and then it just exploded from there. Of course, first 4 figures also had to make some statues. They made a PVC Crash Bandicoot. They made a bunch of these, but this is the exclusive edition where it was numbered and it had a different box and all that jazz. However, if you're gonna display this outside of the box, just go for the regular version. Like, you can find these really easily. However, I believe there's also bootlegs on eBay, so be careful for those. However, if you're gonna keep it in the box, go big. Go for the exclusive version. And I know there was press versions as well, where it came in like a giant TNT box. I wish I would have gotten those, but you know. Of course, they made Pops. I don't collect Pops. I hate them. At least I did. I got the Crash ones. I got all of them. But I swear to God, Pops is a disease. Not that it's bad, but like, you get one. You just want to keep going. They made 4 variations of Crash. Just regular one, like, as number 273. They had like 4 different variants of it. We have the Best Buy version that glows in the dark. I got this before I worked at Best Buy. And I remember getting him was actually a real pain because they didn't have him in store. And if you looked on the website, you couldn't find it either. I remember I was even there and like the staff couldn't find it. However, if I Googled it and then found it, I was good. I was able to order it from there. So the fact that you couldn't find it in Best Buy's website, but you had to like do it through Google and then it took you to a direct link, made absolutely no sense. And like even the employees were really confused. But like, I mean, there's a SKU and everything. Like, it was ready. Oof. Oof. Man, these things are dusty. I don't dust. Anyway, then we got the GameStop version. This one's Flucked. For some reason, this one's awfully popular. You could say he's 4K. I hate that pun so much. And then, of course, you gotta go for the Chase version. Now, this guy, I actually struggled to get. So, originally, I knew an employee at, not Best Buy, I knew an employee at GameStop. And he actually pre-ordered a bunch of them to try to get more shipments into the store for a better chance of actually running into one of these. Sadly, he didn't get one, so it's whatever. I mean, I do really appreciate the fact that he did try, though. Like, not any person could do that. Luckily, he was, like, somebody I went to high school with. So, here, a guy I know who collects, like, I wouldn't say collects, he mainly deals with Hot Wheels. He knew somebody that dealt with Pops, and he got me this one. And this one came from Amazon, because you can tell by that sticker on the bottom. But, yeah, I only paid $15 for this guy. Like, remember, like, at the time it was going for, like, at least $25. That was, like, the average price that he would go for. And, like, some people would have, like, ridiculous prices above that as well, like, trying to sell it, but obviously it wouldn't sell. But this is still so cool that I got it for as cheap as I did. I remember one of my friends ran into it into the wild, too. I'm like, you bastard! But anyway, yeah, they made Crash, I got him. Then I got this one from Toys R Us with the Jetpack. Honestly, this one's really awesome. I got this, I believe it was the second date when I was dating Lauren. Then I got this one from Hot Topic with the motorcycle outfit. This is on me and Lauren's first date. Then I got Cortex. I can't remember how I got this guy. I think I got it at GameStop when I was seeing a different girl. No, I can't remember. Got a lot of these when I was seeing some other girls. Holy crap. But then they announced more Pops. But then I'm like, son of a... Why? I didn't get the room for this. But I got them anyway. So we got Coco. We got Aku Aku. He looks pretty cool. We got Scuba Crash. No lie, he's actually pretty awesome too. And then we got Fake Crash. Now, I got all 4 of these on a date with a girl that I was seeing after me and Lauren broke up. But that was an interesting day. I spent a lot of money that day. I got that, Abercrombie cologne. I forget what else I got that day. Oh yeah, a Pac-Man plush too, from a claw machine. Remember that story? Oh yeah, that was a different day. Man, she get that plush. Finally. He's sitting over there somewhere. I don't know where he is. Oh yeah, they also made a Pez dispenser. Give me a sec. So I include this as part of the Pop collection. Even if it wasn't part of the Pop collection, I still would have got them anyway, because it's Crash. I wanted a Crash Pez dispenser ever since I was a kid. Now I don't like candy. Actually, no, that's an absolute lie. I really love candy. Oh yeah, I love the Pop so much that I ended up getting another one just to open it. And it turns out this one is actually different compared to the regular one I have, because the regular one I have is painted darker, and it turns out it doesn't have this little stripe on the back. So I actually took it out of the box. I know, kill me. And I actually compared the two. I even have photos on my Instagram showing the differences between the two, so follow my Instagram, check that out. And speaking of taking Pops out of the box, I also do have the CTR one. And I know, like, I did want to keep this guy in the box at first because, you know, the collection. However, the way he looked in the box did not do him justice at all. Like the angle they had him wasn't all that good looking. You could admire him much better at different angles, but he had to be out of the box. I still have the box. It's in the other room. Don't worry. It's just I had to take him out. He looks so much better. Plus, he's awfully expensive too. Like $35 or $30. I can't remember. Screw that. Next up, we have more not amiibos. You know, we start off with Skylanders, and then GameStop, or ThinkGeek technically, have their own line of figures called Totaku. They make a whole bunch of different action figures. At first, I won't even say action figures, little statuettes, maybe. They started off with mainly PlayStation characters, but then they branched off to other characters as well, like Tomb Raider, like Microsoft characters like Halo and Gears of War. They even made Sega characters. They even have the Sonic ones. I have all 3. They're hard to come by now, so I'm happy I got them. They're all in the box, and I might open them one day. We'll see what happens. Point is, I need to breathe. I need to have pauses in between my sentences and words. Anyway, I have all 4 of them. In fact, I actually have 1 set open and 1 set still in the box. They were on sale one day. I found them for stupid cheap. I'm like, you know what? Let's buy a whole nother set. And the Gold Crash was on clearance for like $5. I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna do it sometime. Because I bought the Gold Crash first, and then I got the rest of them. Like all on sale. I saved like $10, I think. But yeah, we got Crash. We got main Bandicoot boy right here. Ooh. Then we got the Coco. And also she looks kind of derpy because her eyes don't line up right. Cortex, I believe, honestly looks the best out of all of them. And this pose kind of reminds me of when he's in his lab. And he's saying how, at least in the first game, how he'll reign triumphant and then Crash gets zapped.
This time, I shall reign triumphant.
This reminds me of him saying that. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. And then we got Gold Crash, because 1, it's Crash, it's gold. And I actually also have the Mario amiibo, again, in and out of the box. And also the Gold Mega Man as well. I have that in the box. Also, if you pre-ordered Crash, you got this little bobblehead. He's neat. Oh yeah, speaking of Crash, there's something I forgot to grab for Crash Team Racing. Give me 1 sec.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
I got this Nitrous Oxide plus pin bundle from GameStop. It was exclusive to GameStop, at least in the US. And this guy was $70 compared to the original game being $40. Which, honestly, the Nitrous Oxide edition was honestly a ripoff, okay? You just got a bunch of stuff early. You didn't unlock everything early. You just got a bunch of stuff early. But this one came with pins. So I thought it'd be worth it. But then I see how these pins actually look. I mean, you did get a good picture online. But, I don't know. After seeing them in person, I don't know. I thought they'd be cool. But I'm kind of disappointed that I paid this much for it. But I feel like I would have regretted not getting them now. So, what can you do? An oddball thing that I got these on Amazon, actually. It's a set of pens of Crash Bandicoot, as well as stickers. You got like 2 sheets of stickers, one like sparkly, or I forget what the word is. I don't know. There's a much more accurate term besides sparkly, because it's not like little rainbow stars. It's like something else. I don't know. But anyway, I used some of them. I know, kill me. And I might open these up and actually use these at work. And then, of course, NECA made new Crash figures. I have one on the desk right now. That's the original Crash that came out. And then there's the newest one that came out with extra faces and the Aku Aku mask, but they're all up on my shelf. I didn't feel like grabbing those. I did a review on it. It's not bad. If you already have the original Crash figure, I mean, you can still get it, I guess. If you get this one, you almost don't need the other one. I don't know, because like the blending on this one looks better, but that one is more accurate to the game. This is still a decent representation of Crash, but it's not that game accurate. Then we got Jetpack Crash. He likes to jump off my shelf a lot. I feel like he's like Buzz Lightyear. I'm pretty sure he's alive and he just tries to jump off and fly because he thinks he has a jetpack and he thinks he can fly. Instead, he falls off, hits my Sonic shelf, knocks a few of those figures over too. Freaking annoying. And then we got Scuba Steve. If you get that reference, I'm proud of you. No lie, out of the ones that are like with accessories, I think this is the coolest one. And plus, Crash can move his head back really far. And like this is the perfect figure for that because he actually moves his head back enough so it could look like he's swimming. And then we have what I call Crazy Eyes Bandicoot. Honestly, I mean this is like the next Crash figure they made after the original one, and they blended the paint better, but not the absolute best. And they just had an ugly face. At first, I tried putting the Aku Aku mask on him to make it look decent on my shelf, but apparently it makes it top heavy. And he knocks over other figures, sending them falling onto my Sonic shelf, like I said earlier, and it's more of a hassle than what it's worth. So what I do is I just hide them by hiding the other Crash figures. It sucks, honestly. Like, I don't have much room on my Crash shelf, so I have to build another shelf dedicated for the Crash Pops so I can continue to add more figures to the current Crash shelf. I don't know, boys. It's a lot. Oh yeah, I told you I bought hats. I got 2 of these because I wear this to the flea market, like video game stand that I work at, but you feel gross after that place because like there's a lot of food vendors and it just feels dirty and greasy and stuff like that. And I didn't want to get this hat stinky or dirty, so I have this one for every other day, and then one dedicated for work. Plus they're on clearance for like less than $5 a piece, so at that point, it would have been stupid not to, you know? Then we also got this guy. There's also another one like this with a furry rim, and I didn't get that one because honestly, one, it was a pain in the ass to track down, and 2, I don't know. I even tried ordering it from the website, and they sent me the wrong hat. They also got this hat. It looks okay. I like this patch right here, but gray and black, I don't like at all. I think this fits me a lot better. Oh, man. I forgot to show this off. This is kind of a promotional item. This thing is a pain in the ass. It's the not Lego Crash. I also have one of these of Sonic, but then my Sonic shelf came crashing down and the thing shattered. I gave up on that thing. I did not want to rebuild that thing all over again. Maybe one day I might do it, but as of right now, I really don't care. So if that happens to this, I give up. Like, I like the concept of it, but no. I've also gotten a few other promotional things from a couple of GameStop employees. I got this wristband that's a bit gross right now. I should probably wash this thing. It's been sitting for a while. Then on my messenger bag, the Lego Crash fell, but he's still together. He's all good. Okay, we got this Crash pin right here. That's pretty neat. And also, since I work at Best Buy, I get to take home some things that are like Crash related if they're like displays. Some of them is already being displayed. Like I have this giant Crash banner for CTR like hanging above my shelf, so it looks good with the collection. So since it's on the wall, I didn't feel like taking it down. But again, if you want to see my room tour, whenever I do that, you'll see it in time. So subscribe for that. But this guy, as of right now, I don't really have space for. So I will try to find space for it sometime and probably try to find a frame for it as well. But this was shown off in the PlayStation aisle. It's this guy right here. Look at this. This guy is too cool. There's also a huge banner that was at the end of an end cap. However, I had no space for that at all, and also got thrown away anyway. And like, I was a little bit bummed out for it, but in all reality, since I don't have space for it, it didn't really matter that much. The fact I got this and the other banner as well is more than enough for me. And also, I managed to meet the representative for Sony around the local area, around like the Harrisburg, PA area, I believe. I met her at GameStop originally when they had the first Crash Team Racing demo down there, and I had a good time with it. And they also give you like an air freshener, but that's in my car right now. However, she also came back to Best Buy. So what I did was I was talking to her like after I got off my shift and when I was playing more Crash. It was the same demo, but they had more stuff. They had this sticker. Give me one sec. They had like a few of these stickers. I managed to get like 4 of these. Typically I have it like sitting right here in my videos anyway. But then they had some stuff in the aisle for PlayStation, and I'm like, you know what? These look really cool. I would love to have stuff like this in my collection. Because her and I were chatting, and like she knew how much I loved Crash. She knew how excited I was, and she said it's like people like me that like makes her love her job, like that people get that excited for games. And she's like, hold up, I might have more of these in my car. I'm like, no freaking way. So she gave me this would hang from like where the games are. Like it has this little adhesive on the back, but I have it like tucked into my game rack, like my whole game display. Like again, you'll see that in my videos soon enough. And then we also got this guy right here. Like this also like just sat on like the floor towards the games, and it looked really awesome. So I have that just like hanging up here. That looks really amazing. Like my camera's dying, so that's fantastic. So also some other stuff that I got, like this stuff like is like kind of like fan made or like not official merchandise, but still cool nevertheless. I got these stickers. I got this one from my girlfriend. I got this sticker from Eric. There's also a pin from like the one that's like a skeleton. Give me one sec. Yeah, it's right here. It looks really sweet. Ooh, I like that. Then I got the autograph from Lex Lang from Wizard World. This is the current voice actor for Cortex, so this is really awesome. And then my girlfriend also got me this sign. It's like the original logo. This is made from Etsy. It's amazing. It looks so good. So I have that hanging on my shelf on where all my Crash stuff is. But when it comes to Crash stuff, I currently still want, like that's my collection. But there is still plenty of stuff that I still want. Like I want to get one of the Resource Crash figures in the box. Other than that, I'm gonna go for every NECA figure. I can't remember off the top of my head what other stuff I want besides the other variations of the Crash games. Let me know in the comments what you think. If there's anything else that you've known about. Oh yeah, I want the cookie jar as well. If there's anything else that you have that I don't, that I would probably find really cool. And again, this isn't even my full collection. There's still plenty of stuff that I don't have in here, but this is just a good majority of it. Also, yeah, I also got these stickers. I don't know if they're official or not, but they look cool. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I'm rushing at the end because of my battery dying. But thank you guys for watching. I love you guys so much. If you're new and you like what you saw, subscribe. You know what to do. I will be doing a room tour, so you'll see the posters and other like promotional stuff that I didn't get to show off in the video. So again, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. So peace. Is that what I say anymore? I don't remember. See you guys.